Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to continue with our series on latest advancements, which I had the opportunity to discuss and share a few weeks ago in Amsterdam, and it is my pleasure to share it with you. For all those who are interested in latest updates, it could be doctors, it could be patients, it could be relatives. So this was the European meeting this year, and we are going to talk about the luteal phase support in modified natural cycle, frozen embryo transfer, and whether we should do a day 5 or a day 6 embryo transfer. We'll come to more about it. So this European Congress is held every year, and this time it was held in Amsterdam. And so today's paper is on optimal timing and endometrial preparation in modified natural cycle frozen embryo transfer, the FET optimizing randomized control trial. This paper was by Mart Sopstad. She is from Copenhagen, Denmark, and she is a doctor as well as a PhD. And this was the paper which we will discuss now. Now, the question was, can luteal phase progesterone support increased pregnancy in modified natural FET? And is blastocyst transfer 6 days after HCG trigger more advantageous than 7-day HCG trigger? Now, this is a lot of information. So what it means? What is luteal phase? Luteal phase means after fresh or frozen embryo transfer, the medications that we give. So in modified natural FET, FET means frozen embryo transfer. You know, in fresh we can transfer, frozen we can transfer. Modified natural means you're not giving any medications to make the endometrium in the initial part. In fact, you're just following the natural cycle and then doing the embryo transfer. And in the natural cycle, you may add one injection for the rupture. So that is modified natural cycle FET. And is day 6 better or day 7 better after HCG trigger? Means the progesterone is started from 2 days after HCG trigger. So they are saying 4 days or 5 days, right? After ovulation. HCG trigger, 36 hours ovulation, and from that point we count what day blastocyst it is. So this is her study question. People, so why am I discussing this? To let you know that people are still wondering which is the best. There's no black and white science yet. So clinical pregnancy rates were comparable in women undergoing modified natural FET with or without luteal phase and with blastocyst day 6 or day 7 after HCG trigger. So timing of blastocyst transfer aims to mimic natural conception. Hence, blastocyst is transferred 7 days following, corresponding to 5 days after ovulation. Clinical pregnancy rates may be superior if they are transferred 6 days rather than 7 days. This is their postulate. This is the hypothesis. And in modified natural, whether you give progesterone or you don't give progesterone, because there is a corpus luteum, in the body is already making ovulating. So there is progesterone. So in that case, should we give progesterone in natural cycle or modified natural cycle? So what was the conclusions? The findings show that clinical pregnancy rate in modified natural FET, both with and without LPS, as well as with blastocyst transfer on day 6 or day 7 are comparable. Matlab, if you are giving progesterone, if you're not giving, and if you're doing day 6 after HCG or day 7 after HCG, results are the same. This suggests avoiding progesterone and a potential for more flexibility in scheduling blastocyst transfer in these women. So, for example, these are the various studies in this day 5 versus day 6 single embryo, frozen embryo transfer, which variable? They have again found day 5, day 6 to be the same. In this study, day 5 to be better. This is a Chinese study. They're trying to see is day 7 better than day 6. Now, these are the studies on modified natural progesterone. So, randomized control trial of vaginal progesterone in frozen embryo transfer. In this, they have found that the vaginal progesterone did not make much difference. And in this timing is from, they said that you do after HCG trigger, you start at 36 hours, you start your progesterone, and 5th or 6th day you transfer, which is day 6 or day 7 from, I'm sorry, it will be day 7 or day 8 from HCG trigger. And then some have just given HCG, some have just given triptorelin for luteal phase support. So I know this is a lot of complex, very medical talk, and for maybe our patients. So what I'm trying to say is that around the world, people are trying to figure out, because sometimes you come, didn't you not do blastocyst? Should we put day 5? Should we put day 6? Should we do day 3? What about injectable progesterone? Was I given? Was I not given? So every patient is different, and studies are ongoing to optimize the result. So what do we do at Advanced Fertility? We usually, when we are doing a frozen embryo transfer, we give estrogens. And that the advantage of giving estrogens is it's a very easily controllable cycle. So if you are not, sometimes what happens when you give estrogens, they don't prepare, the endometrium lining is not good, or they get a reaction to estrogens, or despite doing 1 or 2 estrogen cycle, there is no result. Many studies are coming for natural cycle FET, but still I feel that estrogen protocols are one of the strongest protocol for frozen embryos transfer. But if you have failure with it, intolerance to estrogens, or unsatisfactory preparation, then at Advanced Fertility, we go ahead with natural or modified natural. And then luteal phase support, we have tried it all, and then we've sometimes, because in a natural cycle, the body is already producing progesterone, so you may not need, or you give in the modified natural cycle, your HCG is already there, so you may not need more progesterone, or you give a vaginal progesterone, or you give dydrogestone, or you give injectable progesterone. So we are still, we have seen that a combination of vaginal dydrogestone and injectable progesterone every 2 or 3 days sometimes gives the best outcome in modified natural protocols. For us, we have seen day 6 blastocysts are giving the best results. And of course, we keep on auditing, and day 6 has been pretty good for us. So, just still questions. I mean, when should we start progesterone? What should we do it? Which day should we do the transfer? So, every center, every clinic should have their own audit, own practices to decide what is best for that particular patient. And obviously, if we publish, then it is available to the external world for consumption, for debate, to improve our IVF outcome. I was really happy to get a picture with the lady from Copenhagen, and it was a very worthwhile visit. So thank you for sharing your time with me, and till we meet next time for another a last interesting case discussion of my trip to Amsterdam. Please wait for it, which is coming in a few days' time. Thank you.